Game over screens are important. Now you might be thinking, well, yeah, game over screens are there to tell you the game is over, but there's more to it than that. Most people are aware they messed up once they see the funny pixel man fall over. I'm not about to bust out a history lesson, but there came a point where game over screens stopped being just white letters on a black background. Over time they became about doubling down on things like atmosphere, instilling an emotion, or conveying what the scenario of failure might mean within the context of the game in question. There are certain game over screens that are well known among people who haven't even played the game it belongs to. Plenty that leave a lasting impact, and some that even help define the game itself. Even if you've never played Metal Gear, the moment someone starts doing the SNAKE, chances are high you immediately know what they're getting at. And I'm pretty sure anyone who's played Mass Effect will suffer some flashbacks the moment they hear some tug at the heartstrings, and some are just flat out unsettling. These ones really serve to drive home the idea that an actual tragedy has just taken place. Just look at DMC4's ominous as all hell abandon all hope screen. You aren't really supposed to think about a game over too much, it's ultimately just a dead end that forces you to try again, and usually the scenario of a game over is never treated as canon within the events of the story. But if you do stop to think about it, it can get pretty grim. Those games that actively choose to focus on this aspect attempt to emphasize the horror of such an outcome. Not only have you, probably the hero, just died, there are consequences beyond that. Anyone you are fighting to protect or save is now completely helpless, and what becomes of you? Did you simply die, or are you suffering a fate worse than death? Is your soul doomed? Jesus, DMC2, calm down. I've mentioned it already, but holy shit, Metal Gear loves its game over screens. From the classic SNAKE to the infamous fission mailed fake out. The third game has time paradoxes kick in when characters who we see in later entries are killed when they should have survived. Now that's cooking with game overs. Then there's MGS4. I feel like I just died in real life. So rewind real quick and take a look at this one. This is the game over screen for Final Fantasy VIII, and it can be kind of heart-wrenching to look at. The hero's weapon, which has become synonymous with the game itself, the Gunblade, lies shattered, joined by a fallen feather which is effectively the symbol of the heroine. As a kid, looking at this game over screen left me with this very clear, very distinct impression. Squall's fucking dead! Then there's the eerie simplicity of the original Dot Hack Quartet's game over screens being led up to by the in-universe MMO's visual feed cutting to black, which implies dire consequences for the player behind the screen. Normally reaching a game over in and of itself naturally breaks the player's immersion, namely because you aren't playing anymore. But effective game over screens can maintain that suspension of disbelief to have the player fully connect with the consequences of their failure. This alone can really condition someone to play smarter and make sure they're properly prepared throughout a game if they come to associate some level of guilt or negativity with the game over screen itself. It's not so much a game over screen, but when I was a baby boy playing Super Mario 64, I hadn't yet evolved into the skilled and handsome god gamer I am today, and thus my aimless flailing led me to a swift end, only for the game to taunt me with Bowser's doofy ass laugh, and it scared the balls out of me. Ah! Now obviously if you're playing a game where you're expected to die frequently, it's typically a better choice to get you right back into the action when you do. Imagine how irritating it would be if something like Halo gave you a game over every time you died. It would at least slow down the experience. Especially on a legendary run. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Halo 2. I miss that game. I miss Reach. I miss Halo when it was good. Might have to make a video on that. Dark Souls likes to get really cheeky with it and just kind of shoves a huge message in your face that says, yeah, go work, dipshit. It's minimalistic in an effective way that works for that specific game's design. Doesn't exactly chill me to my core, but it certainly gets the point across. In fighting games, there's the classic lone spotlight focused on your character after losing. Will you continue on or give up? Or in the case of arcade machines, will you keep playing, or are you all out of pennies, you broke-ass bitch? Sometimes there are game over screens that kinda suck ass. FF7 had a really cool game over screen that showed a busted up reel that ran out of film, insinuating that your journey had come to an end while some sad ass music plays in the background. Now let's have a look at what happens when you get a game over in FF7 Remake.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, looking at this causes me some amount of physical pain. Game over screens are an often overlooked aspect of games that have a bigger impact than they're given credit for when done right. They can provide an entire avenue of creativity and add character to a game in ways that are completely unique to this specific element. When getting a game over affects external factors beyond just advancing past the screen, that's video game magic, baby! They've always been an important part of video games, and I hope we keep getting more of this, and less of this.
Game over.
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. You can join my Discord for updates and to hang out with the lovely members of the Thieves Guild. I can also be followed on Twitter, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so on Patreon, or simply donate directly via PayPal. Links can be found in the description below. Have a great day. I'll catch you next time.